Kia ora and welcome to Business Your Way. I'm Sandra Julian, your host and business transformation coach. This podcast is your go-to for strategies and mindset shifts to grow and scale your service-based business. No more constant hustling, just unstoppable, scalable growth with a soul-aligned essence. Join me in each episode as we uncover the secrets behind successful businesses and provide actionable insights. Let's transform your business your way and unlock the growth that you've been dreaming of. Alrighty, let's dive into this episode. Welcome to episode 117 of Business Your Way. Over the next 3 episodes on the podcast, I'm delivering to you a special mini-series where I'm diving deep into the inner workings of entrepreneurial success and really helping you navigate the terrain of your mind to unlock your fullest potential. In this special mini-series, I'm peeling back the layers of the inner game of business because business is just as much an inner game as it is an outer game. Because let's face it, your mind and your mindset is really the silent architect behind every move that you make in your entrepreneurial journey. And if you've listened to the podcast for a little while, I want to first of all give you a shout out for listening and coming back and being a consistent listener. That means so much to me. But if you've been here a little while, you would have heard me say that your business will only grow as fast as you grow, which means that a business will never outgrow its owner. So if you as an individual, the owner of the business, if you are not growing and developing yourself, your business is also not growing. And I truly believe that when you uncover the secrets of mastering your mind, your experience and your growth will be unstoppable. So if you're ready, I invite you to join me for the next 3 episodes to embark on a journey of self-discovery, empowerment, and business mastery. In each episode, we unpack some actionable insights, practical strategies, all designed to propel you towards scalable growth and unstoppable success. So if you're ready, grab your favorite cup of tea or put your earbuds in, go for a walk, settle in. Let's unlock the limitless potential that resides within you. Welcome to the Inner Game of Business, the mini-series. Today, in the first of the 3 episodes in this special mini-series, I'm exploring the power of mindset and how it shapes your journey towards success or otherwise. So let's start by understanding the fundamental difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. But before we dive into that, before we get into that difference, I really want to challenge a common misconception, which is that you are either a fixed mindset person or a growth mindset person. You know, as humans, we're very quick to judge somebody and label them and put them in a box and go, oh, they're just a fixed mindset person, you know, and we attach that label to somebody. Or if we really like how someone is thinking and growing, we're like, oh, they've got a great mindset. We are really quick to label. But I don't think it's as black and white as that. Most of us operate with both mindsets, depending on the situation we find ourselves in. A fixed mindset is really anything that holds you back. So if you have a fixed mindset, that is what is holding you back. It's when you believe that your qualities are carved in stone, that you're stuck with what you're born with, and that's just how you operate. And that's because our brains are wired to seek safety. They're wired to continue to do what's familiar because that's safe. Our brains resist change and discomfort, which is why it's easy to do what you've always done. And I'm sure you've tried to implement a new habit, whether that is exercise or dieting or Maybe you have tried to improve your productivity and just make the most of the time that you have in a day, only to find that your brain is resisting. It is clinging to your old routines. And that's your fixed mindset at work because it's comfortable in the familiar and it's wary of the unknown. So after the first couple of days, you're like, yep, I got this. And then maybe a few days in, your brain just wants to go back to the old things. You know, if you're trying to implement a new exercise habit and you want to just get up a little bit early in the mornings and move your body for 30 minutes, you get about 3, 4 days into that routine, and then you're like, oh, I might just snuggle up in bed for a little bit longer. And that's because our brains like to do things that are familiar to us, and it resists the change. But here's the catch. While our brains crave that stability, they also crave growth. And growth, however, means stepping into that unfamiliar territory, something that our brains are really hardwired to avoid. And this space of growth, that is where your growth mindset lives. And a growth mindset is a daily choice to embrace the discomfort of growth, to pursue something unfamiliar in pursuit of your desired outcome. And whether that desired outcome is to make the most of your working day by putting in, productivity habits and routines, or whether that desired outcome is to, drop down a dress size, or whether it is to increase the strength of your health and wellness, like whatever that desired outcome is, the pursuit of that is your growth mindset. But you always just need to know that your fixed mindset, your brain is always going to resist that change. You may have heard the saying that goes, to grow, you have to get uncomfortable, or that you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable if you want to grow. And I really do like that. It's like you have to get comfortable with the uncomfortable in order to grow, and that's to grow yourself and then to grow your business. And these sayings come from that fundamental understanding of how our brain works. So with a growth mindset, you believe your abilities are not fixed and you can develop new abilities and you can grow through dedication and effort. Challenges become opportunities for growth. Setbacks become your lessons, and effort becomes the path to your mastery. So when you want to get that desired outcome, you just have to know that it's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to experience setbacks, and they are just your lessons. But with that continuous effort becomes mastery. And what's fascinating is that we're not simply fixed or growth mindseted individuals. Our mindset can shift depending on the circumstances that we find ourselves in. We might approach some tasks with a growth mindset, believe we can improve over time, while other situations we approached with a fixed mindset, being convinced of our limitations, that we can't move past them. So go back and reflect on when you have had that fixed mindset, when you're just convinced of your limitations, that you're like, it's just all that I'm meant to be. But then go and notice other situations where you've had that growth mindset, where you're like, yep, I got this, I can do this. I'm willing to get uncomfortable to experience change. And I want that outcome so badly that I'm prepared to be uncomfortable. Reflect on your own experiences and notice, when were you in a growth mindset? When were you in a fixed mindset? Because I truly believe that our behaviors and our habits are not set in stone. They can evolve through a deliberate shift from a fixed to a growth mindset over time. And that's by recognizing when you're operating in that fixed mindset and then intentionally cultivating a growth mindset. You can unlock your full potential and achieve greater success in your business and your life when you can recognize when you're operating in a fixed mindset and make an intentional move and shift to cultivate the growth mindset in that situation where you've noticed it in yourself. So now that you understand the dynamic interplay between a fixed and a growth mindset, let's dive deeper into how our thoughts influence our actions and then ultimately shape our outcomes. And here's where I want to introduce you to the thought action model. I was introduced to this model a few years ago by Brooke Castillo. She's a life coach and she trains other life coaches. And ever since I got introduced to this model by her, she was the first person I heard it by. But ever since then, I've seen and heard it described in a few different ways. Like once you become aware of something, you then see it everywhere, right? Is like when you've decided that you want to buy that black Honda Civic, like once you decide that that's what you want to buy, all of a sudden you see them on the road everywhere. And that's exactly what happened to me. As soon as I became aware of this model, then I started to see it everywhere. Every time that I saw the model, it was always described in a few different ways, different words were used, but that actually just helped me really consolidate this model into my way of thinking. And this model is one of the core fundamentals of coaching. So as I've dived further and further and further into this coaching journey, and now I'm on my second certification as a coach, this is one of the fundamental models of coaching. It's a simple yet powerful framework that illustrates how our thoughts about circumstances create feelings or emotions, same word, feelings and emotions, which in turn drive our actions, ultimately leading to specific results. And whether you realize it or not, this is actually how your brain functions every day. With everything that happens around us in a day, this is how our brain functions. When we're not conscious to it, it's like it's a default action. But when you become conscious to the model, you then become aware of how you can change from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. So let me give you an example to demonstrate this. Let's choose a circumstance, and the circumstance is that a client hasn't paid their invoice on time. You sent them the invoice, you gave them a due date, and they haven't paid it. So now the circumstance is that the payment is overdue. And your thought about this circumstance is negative. So if you have a negative thought, and that thought might be, why should I have to chase them? They obviously don't value my service if they can't pay me on time. And that thought alone of, oh, they're not paying, they must not value my service, that's like our first instinctive thing because we always doubt ourselves. There always seems to be this doubt in our mind. So we have this negative thought. And it's like that thought then triggers feelings of frustration or resentment or even self-doubt. These negative emotions then drive your action. So then you might procrastinate on following up with the client. You may avoid addressing the issue directly, or you even then get resentful about fulfilling on the service and you become less enthusiastic about the work that you're doing with that client. And what's the result of that? More late payments, a strained client relationship, and a reinforcing belief that confirms your negative thoughts about the situation. So that's how your brain might operate by default, right? But here's the thing. You have the power to choose your thoughts. You can actively challenge a negative belief and replace it with a more empowering one. So let's take a look at that same circumstance, but let's look at that from a different perspective. Because the circumstance or the scenario, it's neutral. It's just fact. And the fact is that the client didn't pay their invoice on time. So the neutral circumstance is the payment is overdue. It's neither right nor wrong. There's nothing about it. It's just imagine it to be neutral. So if you then had a thought, a positive thought about this circumstance, and you thought, Perhaps the invoice has been held up in the payment system somewhere. So now the feeling is different. That thought alone is likely to evoke a feeling of patience or understanding or proactive problem solving. Wonder where it's been stuck in the payment system. Then it's these positive emotions. These are more like empathetic, understanding, compassionate feelings that have been evoked by that pure positive thought of, I wonder where this has been held up in the system. I wonder where the payment is in the system. There's probably a system error. So these positive emotions then drive your actions. So you might promptly reach out to the client with a friendly reminder. Hey, just inquiring about the payment of our invoice. Hasn't come through to us yet, just wondering if it might be stuck in the system somewhere. And then you offer assistance to get the problem resolved, to get payment in, as soon as possible. And then because of the way that you've approached it, the action that you've taken, what's the result? The result can be a strengthened client relationship. It could be improved communication. It can be the reinforced belief that confirms your ability to handle challenges with grace and professionalism. So instead of dwelling on your past failures, you might choose to focus on past successes or lessons learned, because we never fail, we just learn. And if you think about all of the areas where you think you've failed and you just go back and say, what did I learn from that? We can turn all of that into successes and be able to move forward in a positive frame into our future. So, instead of viewing these setbacks as insurmountable objects that you just can't navigate, you might see them as opportunities for growth and to build that resilience muscle. So by choosing your thoughts wisely, you can shift the entire trajectory of your actions and outcomes. So positive thoughts lead to positive emotions, which then drive positive actions, and then ultimately it gets you to the result that you want. It's that favorable outcome that you're seeking. So as you navigate the ups and downs of your business journey, remember the power of your thoughts. They're not just like fleeting notions, in a moment of time. They are actually the architects of your reality, and how you think actually plays a huge part into what actually happens in the reality of your business and in the reality of your life. I wanted to jump in here really quickly and ask you for a big favor. If you are loving this podcast and this episode, I would be grateful if you could share it with a friend. Or even better yet, jump over onto Instagram and share it on your stories. Don't forget to tag me. I'm sandrajulian.co. That really is the best way for others to find out about this podcast, and I thank you in advance. Alrighty, back to the episode. So now that you understand that your thoughts have the power to shape your actions and your results, I want to show you how your beliefs now underpin your thoughts. And this has been truly fascinating to me, to really uncover and discover that this is how our brain operates. But actually, we are in complete control of all of this, even though at times we may think we're not. And beliefs are simply the stories that we tell ourselves. Nothing more, nothing less, nothing fancy. That's all they are. Beliefs are the stories that we tell ourselves. It's the lens through which we view our world. But have you ever stopped to consider where those beliefs come from and how they shape your thoughts and your actions? How quickly have you made a judgment, and so that's been your immediate thought, 2 seconds flat, and you don't even realize that you've had the thought that's made the judgment? And that thought, that judgment, it is rooted in beliefs that sit deep within us. And our beliefs are often formed based on our past experience and our societal influences. So our beliefs are a culmination of everything that we've been told about ourselves and the world around us. We all have our own individual beliefs depending on how and where you were raised, where you went to school, who you surrounded yourself by. And for the most part, we simply accept the stories to be true. So we accept all the stories that we've been told to be true. And our thoughts are formed from these deep rooted beliefs. So, what I'm trying to say is that your beliefs, whether they are conscious or unconscious, have a profound impact on your thoughts and behaviors. They'll either empower you to reach your full potential or they will hold you back from pursuing your dreams. So, think of a belief as a pair of glasses. If you're wearing glasses with a negative prescription, everything you see will be distorted and bleak. But if you can swap those glasses for ones with a positive prescription, suddenly your world becomes full of possibilities. And I know that that sounds really easy. You can just take one pair of glasses off and put another pair of glasses on, and your whole world will change. It's actually not as easy as that, and it takes work and it takes time. But I'd like you to take a moment to reflect on some of the beliefs you hold about yourself and your business. Are they empowering beliefs or are they limiting beliefs? Do your beliefs support your goals or do they hold you back from achieving your goals? And these beliefs could be all kinds of things, like what's your belief about money? Were you told as a kid, money doesn't grow on trees? So now you're in business, you work super hard for every dollar that you're making, and you make it hard because you were told as a kid, money doesn't grow on trees. So these are some of the beliefs that might be completely unconscious to you. But once someone says, hey, do you believe this? You'll go, I do. And then if they can demonstrate how that's holding you back, you're like, oh, didn't even realize. And this is the power of working with a coach, right? Is a coach, a really good coach, can help you see your mindset. They can help you change your thought patterns. They can uncover these deep rooted beliefs that you have that are informing your thoughts. And when you have, those, and they might not necessarily be negative thoughts, but they're not positive either. But those beliefs are holding you back from achieving the goals that you've really set for yourself. And that's the beauty of working with a business coach. But here's the empowering bit is you can do this work yourself. You have the power to challenge and change your beliefs. If you put in the work, the results will come. You can rewrite your stories and you can create new stories for yourself. You can replace your limiting beliefs with new, empowering, liberating truths. And like I said, it's not always easy and it takes time and effort because your brain wants to stay with what's familiar, with what it knows. It will always be pulling you back to that safety net. But if you want to experience change by consciously choosing to adopt beliefs that align with the vision for your success, you open yourself up to a whole new world of possibilities. So whether you realize it or not, your beliefs are shaping your reality. And when you are open to seeing this and you can see how this is happening for you, it is. It's like a whole new world has just opened up. So many of us go through our adult life on autopilot, unconsciously holding on to the beliefs that were given to us in our formative years. But now that we're grown-ass adults, we get to choose and consciously create the beliefs that we want in our life. So I encourage you to challenge your limiting beliefs and create new ones, more empowering ones. You have the power to transform your mindset and to unlock your full potential when you realize your beliefs create your thoughts. Your thoughts create your feelings and emotions. And based on that feeling, you are going to take action. And those actions can lead you down the wrong path and keep you stuck, or they'll lead you to further growth and success. So this is how you take control of your programming. Grow for you, grow for your business. And this all starts with awareness, becoming conscious of the thoughts and assessing if they are serving the goals that you have for your life, for your business. If you are feeling stuck in your business, if you feel like you're on that hamster wheel, I can guarantee you there is a limiting belief that is creating your thoughts that is keeping you stuck. So I encourage you to, as you go about your day, take a moment to pause and observe your thoughts. Are they lifting you up or are they holding you back? Are your thoughts aligned with your vision for success? And then once you've become aware of your thoughts, it's time to take intentional action. And I really want to emphasize the importance of consciously choosing your thoughts and choosing the thought that aligns to your desired outcome. Instead of allowing your mind to wander aimlessly, actively guiding your thoughts towards positivity, growth, and abundance, this is where you will experience growth. Take control of that mind that wanders aimlessly. Take control of the mind that wants to keep you safe, and keep pulling yourself back to the place that's going to positively move you forward, that place of where it's uncomfortable. Because again, I'm going to reiterate, your thoughts have the power to shape your reality. And one effective strategy for taking control of your programming is to allocate dedicated thinking time in your day. Like, this is a game changer, truly. In a busy world when we are just going from one thing on our calendar to the next, from one task to the next, from one meeting to the next, it's really important that we actually schedule time on our calendar dedicated to thinking. And we just allow that time. It's an appointment with ourselves. It's an appointment for our own personal growth. Simply carve out a few minutes each day for quiet reflection. I would recommend at least like 15, 20 minutes, but you can find a practice that works for you. Use this time to reflect on one situation that you've had in your business. Identify the thought that you are currently having about that situation. Then try and identify the belief that is underpinning that thought. What is the deep-seated belief that is creating that thought that you're having? And then ask yourself, is that belief serving me? Challenging any limiting beliefs and then creating more intentional thoughts that create that positive emotion. And then once you're there, then take action from that positive emotion. But, allow yourself some time to do this. It's going to take time to identify, firstly, what was my thought? And the best way to do this, honestly, is just write it down, pen and paper. What was the thought? And once you actually see your thought in black and white on pen and paper, sometimes you're like, that's a ridiculous thought. It just becomes a lot clearer. It crystallizes when you put it on paper. When you get it from your head to a piece of paper, the thought crystallizes. Then you can read it back to yourself. And it's like someone's reading back to you your own thought. It's quite a weird feeling, but it works. It really does work. So if you want to grow your business, you as a person have to grow. And to do this, I think it's super essential that you shine a light on the thought patterns that aren't serving you, and then actively work to shift those thoughts and create new thought patterns that will serve you. Pay attention to the reoccurring thoughts or behaviors that happen throughout your day. Are there any patterns or themes that you see emerging? And then once you identify, challenge those patterns that you are seeing. I mean, one of my patterns that I noticed was that when I would sit down to conquer a task that I knew was going to take my full attention, and I didn't really know how I was going to approach it or know exactly what I was going to do to achieve my desired outcome, it needed me to do some thinking. Like, the task at hand required me to focus, concentrate, be curious, and come up with a solution. And I noticed that every time I started this kind of work, I would pick up my phone and start scrolling social media. It was like that was my brain keeping me safe. It was my brain going, that's too hard, that's uncomfortable, that's too challenging. Let's go do something that's safe. And I'd pick up my phone and I'd scroll social media. So this was the pattern that I noticed about myself. And then I would waste time, and then I would run out of time. And then I'd get frustrated with myself. And then it was just a negative spiral downwards from there. So once I noticed this pattern, I was like, right, when I need to do this kind of work, I need to clear my desk, I need to put my phone in the other room, and I need to turn off all distractions so I know that I can just focus. And I can focus on problem solving and coming up with different scenarios to get to the place that I needed to get, with whatever I was trying to sit down with. And it can be a myriad of things. But start observing and paying attention to these reoccurring thoughts or behaviors and the patterns that you have during your day, and then start challenging them. Why am I doing that? Why is that a constant? Why is my brain trying to keep me safe? And then put in place different habits or different rituals to keep yourself moving in that growth mindset. Then you're truly setting yourself up for success. You have the power to take control of your programming and shape your mindset for success by becoming aware of your thoughts, consciously choosing your thoughts, and choosing the thoughts that align with your goals, allocating dedicated thinking time in your day, identifying and shifting your unconscious beliefs to more empowering beliefs. This is how you create the mindset that is necessary for the unstoppable growth that I know that you want in your business. I know this is what you want, otherwise you wouldn't be in business. Most of the people that come and enter my world, they are ambitious entrepreneurs. They've got some big goals that they want to achieve. But most of the time they're stuck on a hamster wheel. They're just stuck on the hustle and the grind. And they don't know how to get out of it. And for the most part, what I've learned is that it is the inner game that moves the growth, moves the success of the business. When we stop looking for all of the next strategies, when we stop looking for the next tactic, when we stop looking at what others are having success at, and we actually just go inward and do the inner work on ourselves, this is where the growth happens. And that, my friend, brings us to the end of the first episode in our mini-series, The Inner Game of Business. Like I said, I truly believe that the concepts that I've shared with you in this episode are the fundamentals to your success. You have all the strategies in the world, but if you can't control your thoughts, your business will always feel hard, and you'll never move past this hustle phase. You'll feel like you're forever on that hamster wheel. And I realize that it's not easy work, but it is necessary work. And of everything, walking away from today, from this episode, if you are right here with me and you've listened to the whole episode, I really want you to remember that your mindset, it's not set in stone. It's a fluid, ever-evolving aspect of yourself that you have the power to shape and mold. Now that you are a grown-ass adult, you get to choose your life, your thoughts, your beliefs. You are in complete control of this. And by becoming aware of your thoughts, challenging your limiting beliefs, and consciously choosing thoughts that align with your goals, you can unlock your full potential and achieve unparalleled success in your business and your life. Because when you're an entrepreneur, business and life go hand in hand. Like, you want big goals for both, not just your business, but you've got big goals for your life. So business and life, they just go hand in hand. So do this work, allocate time, give yourself time, make it a conscious choice, and truly, the change that you will see will be incredible. You will then start to say to yourself, how did I not see this before? And I guarantee you, if you are chasing all the strategies and tactics in your business, I would just encourage you to stop and look inward. And if you have found today's episode valuable, then be sure to subscribe for future episodes and come back and join me for the next 2 episodes in this mini-series. And also share the podcast with fellow entrepreneurs who are on their own journey of transformation. And I certainly hope that you will join me in the next 2 episodes of this very special mini-series on the inner game of business, where I'll be diving into manifesting your goals in the next episode. Because it's not just about setting goals, and we all know how to set goals, and whether we choose the right goals, the wrong goals, whatever, however you choose to set goals, it's not just about setting the goal. It's about becoming the person who effortlessly achieves the goal. So I hope you'll come back, join me for the next episode as I dive into the art of manifestation and discovering how to align your thoughts, beliefs, and actions to step into the role of the person who crushes their goals. You want to be the goal-crushing entrepreneur that you were born to be. And in the next episode in this mini-series, we are going to go right there. We're going to go there. We're going to talk about that. So I hope you will come back and join me next episode. I will talk to you Discovery Call. Before you go today, if you are ready to make some bold moves in 2024, I invite you to book a Discovery Call with me. Let's have a chat about your unique needs and explore how my Being Boss Pahi Puawai coaching program can elevate your business to new heights this year. I encourage you to act quickly though, because my prices are set to increase when I complete my business coach certification, which I am currently doing. So if you want to seize the opportunity to get some coaching with me at a ridiculously low price, then head on over to sandrajulian.co/coaching, book that discovery call, and let's have a conversation about how we can transform your business in 2024. Thank you so much for tuning in to Business Your Way. Remember, your success is my mission, and that is what I'm here for. Until next time, stay inspired and keep being the boss and building your business your way.